Hello everyone. Like the research proposal, students struggle with the reader response essay in my class. Again, the problem appears to lie in the inexperience with writing about process. As such, in this presentation, I will explain the reader response essay and inform students what each paragraph should accomplish. Let's get started. As with any essay, we cannot effectively start an essay without understanding what its expectations are. For the reader response essay, just as the name suggests, you will need to explain your response to a specific source. First, select a source you plan to use in your research essay. Second, you will need to answer the question, how will the source be useful to your research essay? The essay can focus on the following topics to answer the question: the source's credibility, the author's credibility, and the usefulness of the source's information. To make writing the essay easier, be sure to pick a source that provides enough information for you to write a 1,000-word essay. For instance, articles, book chapters, documentary or news videos, and website articles can be used for this essay. Do not choose an entire website. Websites are too big to cover effectively in a single essay. Instead, select an article or web page from within the website. The introduction should set up the reader for the essay's main idea. Hence, it should provide the reader with the background information they need to understand the essay's analysis. For this essay, that means introducing the reader to the source. Answering the following questions will create a strong introductory paragraph. What is the source's title? Where is it published? Who is the author or authors? Was it written by a group or government department? You will need to briefly summarize the source. This section of the introduction should be no longer than 3 or 4 sentences. Next, explain why the source interested you. In other words, explain why you chose it to support your research essay. The last sentence in the introduction should be the thesis, and it should inform the reader exactly how the source will support the research essay. On this slide, I've provided both a model and an example to help you get started with the thesis. In the model, you will start with the source's title, then state, "will support my research essay's argument because," which should be followed by a list of reasons illustrating how a source will be useful. The example I provided states, NASA's webpage on climate change and global warming will support my research essay's argument because it is a credible source, the writing is unbiased, and the information is factual. For the first body paragraph, you will need to identify the first reason why the selected source will be useful to your research essay. I suggest starting with the source's credibility. In stating this, I'm not referring to the specific article's credibility. I'm referring to the publisher's credibility. Making this distinction is important because they are different. If the article's author is credible, but the source that publishes their work is not, the author's credibility will suffer. Credibility must be apparent in both the source and the article itself. Use the following example as a model to help you start the first body paragraph. As a government organization with a reputation for accuracy and unbiased information, NASA is a very credible source to use for my research essay. Naturally, the rest of the paragraph will need to use evidence and explanations from the source to support the paragraph's claim. In the second body paragraph, you will need to identify a second reason why the selected source will be useful to your research essay. For this paragraph, I suggest focusing on the author's credibility. As an example on how to start the paragraph, I've provided the following. Although NASA's article on climate change and global warming does not identify a specific author, the article is trustworthy because it presents its ideas in an unbiased way. Of course, as with the previous body paragraph, the rest of the paragraph will need to use evidence and explanations of that evidence to support the paragraph's claim. In the last body paragraph, identify the third reason why the selected source will be useful to your research essay. This paragraph should focus on the information provided by the article. For example, the paragraph could start with something like the following sentence. Starting with a large graph at the top of the page, NASA's article on climate change and global warming provides enough factual information for me to persuade climate change deniers that climate change is a threat. And, like the previous body paragraphs, this one will also need to provide evidence and explanations that support the paragraph's claim. A strong conclusion will review the essay's main ideas and synthesize them so that the reader will understand how everything fits together. I suggest starting with the restatement of the thesis's main claim. Next, review the essay's main ideas, and end the conclusion by providing the reader with a final thought on the topic. This can be accomplished by offering a suggestion or a prediction. Thank you for watching, and please let me know if you have any questions.